And we welcome into the show Coach Zane Gibson, the new basketball coach at UAFS, home of the Lions. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, David. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Coach. It's I know you're returning to UFS. This is your first year back at UAFS. You used to be an assistant there. Now you're returning the program after 5 seasons. Why did you choose to come back to UFS?
Yeah, when I was here as an assistant coach, this was a very, very special place to me. We had a lot of success here. I was here under Coach Newman, and we got to number 4 in the country twice. Won back-to-back league titles, went to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. So it's a place, in my opinion, where you can have a lot of success, and the people around here are great. They're very warm and welcoming. They're excited. They're interested in the program. Uh, David, honestly, I could probably ramble on for a very long time as to why I decided to come back, because it's just that special to me, and we're excited to get going.
Oh, I totally understand. It's definitely a special place. I've got a little piece of UFS history for myself when I went to school there for a little while. I was completely painted in blue and running to the basketball stadium for a pump up video one year. And yeah, that's out there in existence. And then I went to class without getting the paint off of me. So I just sat in the back of one of my history classes, completely painted in blue. So yeah, there's a ton of interest. I totally get it, Coach.
Well, we might have you back and paint yourself blue again. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. Maddie
I
might
think I'm getting a little old for that, Coach.
like it, hey, but I think this could be a good thing for us right here.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep that a tradition. I can just be the random blue guy in the stands every Saturday for you if you want me to. All right. You've been a part of 4 championship winning teams as a player and a championship team as an assistant coach. How do you take a winning culture that the winning cultures you've been a part of and put that into UAFS now?
Yeah, I think that basketball, like most businesses or companies, is not so different. And what I mean by that is there's a reason why, coaches on the women's side, coaches on the men's side have a lot of success. There's not hidden things. People aren't doing necessarily these extravagant, special things that no one understands. They just do them kind of better. They're more focused into their foundation, whatever their foundation blocks are, because obviously Tony Bennett does it one way, and Coach Cal does it a different way, and so there's not one particular way you have to do this, but I think it's people that stay true to themselves, true to their core, and really do a good job of connecting with their young men and women in their programs, and I think that allows them to lead to some success. That's what when I played at Middle Tennessee for Kermit Davis. Our culture, I thought, helped us win a lot of championships. Of the 4 I was a part of as a player, I thought 2 times, looking back, that we were just the most talented team in the league. The other 2 that we won, I thought we were just the best team. We were all about each other, and our standards were high, and we maintained them even more so than coach. And then when I got out here with Coach Newman, obviously the success we had here, it was a very similar recipe. Different play styles. Coach Davis and Coach Newman, completely different play styles, but the recipe for the culture and really standing by what you believe in, I think, is what I've taken the most in my coaching journey, which I took with me out to Western New Mexico.
Gotcha, 100%. What was it like playing for Kermit Davis back in the day?
Yeah, Coach Davis is hard now. Coach Davis is a hard coach to play for, because he just demands so much of you. But very fair, very fair. I love Coach. Coach and I talk all the time. He talked to me, and has helped me along my career the entire way. And he's a huge part of my life. Obviously, till this past year, I was a huge Ole Miss fan from a distance, just because. Not because I cared anything about Oxford or the university, but because I cared about Coach and all he meant to me as a player, and then obviously as a mentor during my coaching career. So, but it was hard. It was demanding. You knew every single day you had to come to work. There was not going to be, if you came in there and only gave it half-hearted effort, it wasn't going to go real well for us. So, Coach demanded a lot for us, but I think it's why we were successful, and I think that's kind of helped me in my start of my coaching career.
100%. So obviously, I know that Coach Davis has dealt with this quite a bit at his time at Division One. I'm curious, in the age of NIL, transfer portal, and all those other things that modern basketball kind of consists around, what's that like at the D2 level?
Yeah, we've always kind of had the transfer portal a little bit more at the Division II level than Division I. And I played Division I. I got my start as a Division I graduate assistant. So that's all I kind of knew until Coach Newman, for whatever reason, decided to take a chance on me. 7 years ago or 8 years ago, whenever it was I came out here, and Division I guys were always able to transfer down to Division II and play right away. So we always kind of had the portal, even though it was a little bit different shaping. Um, and now everybody kind of has it. And so it's something I've been prepared for with the player movement. Now, what is a little bit different at our level is the NIL. Some schools I have heard in the rumor mill of our coaching fraternity are starting to dabble into it. Um, but not at the numbers that obviously the SEC schools and the Big 12 schools are using. So I do think it will get into our game a little bit. But the portal has always kind of been something we've been used to. I had 7 or 8 Division I transfers on my roster out of Western New Mexico when I was here. The first time, we had Darion Strong Moore, who was an Oklahoma transfer. We had Ladarius Coleman and Marcus Wallace, who were SEMO transfers. We've always kind of dabbled into that at the Division II level, and now it's just kind of more widespread because now everybody does it. Now it's everywhere. So it's changed kind of who we can go after and who we target in recruiting. But the process is kind of the same for us.
You said that guys have always had it at a level. Can you kind of explain maybe has it changed at all, or is it just is it just slight rule changes now really in Division II with the new transfer portal era, or is it pretty much the same?
Yeah, so now where we would get kind of the free transfer would be coming from a Division I down to a Division II school. Now we can take a Division II guy into another Division II school.
Okay,
So
I'm
now
following.
it used to be we would go try to attract those Division I guys because our sell to them was, hey, look, you don't have to sit out with us. It used to be you transferred Division I, you had to take that year of sitting, and guys just don't want to sit. Oftentimes, especially earlier in my career, the reason why guys were transferring was because they just weren't playing a lot or enough. And why would you want to go from playing a little bit to playing none for a whole year and then come back the year after? So it was kind of our sell. Now, obviously those guys can transfer laterally at the Division I level, and we can now do that as well at the Division II level. So whereas we used to target a lot of maybe low major Division I guys, now we target maybe some all league Division II guys in other leagues, that are, they decide to leave. They're trying to get up to the Division I level. Maybe they're not getting the interest, and we maybe present a different opportunity for them. And so it's kind of changed the target zone a little bit for us. But as far as how we approach them and how we try to interact with them in the recruiting part, that's still just about building relationships.
Okay, coach. So I definitely want to give you a chance to talk a little bit more specifically about your program there at UFAS. So I'm a high school basketball recruit, all 5'8" point guard of me right here. What's your best pitch for me to go to UFAS to play Division II ball there for you?
Yeah, what we try to sell guys on is playing at an extremely high level where all of your goals can be met. But the difference between us, because honestly, David, being transparently, we're recruiting versus the low major Division I schools. That's who we're recruiting. Eric Musselman and I are not getting in the same households. Okay, I love being some of the households he's going into, but we're not. So, we sell in our league in the Lone Star year in, year out. We've led the country in the most automatic bids into the NCAA tournament, or at large bids, sorry, to the NCAA tournament. We had 6 2 years ago. We got 4 this past year. We typically will get 5 or 6 every year. And so you don't have to have one magical weekend in March for us to make the NCAA tournament. You just have to have consistent excellence throughout the year, and then you're rewarded. So, that's kind of one of the sales we use. Is it's a different deal. We're chasing national championships. Obviously, they've hung a couple banners in this arena by winning national championships in their past, as opposed to just trying to find a way to win 4 nights in March at your conference tournament. Because we won 4 titles out of middle. We only went to the NCAA tournament 2 years because even though we were the best regular season team from November to March, we got bounced in our conference tournament twice. And now we went to the NIT and had some success there in both of those years. But the NIT is obviously overshadowed from the NCAA tournament. And so our sale is to try to win a national title and not just need those 3 special days in March.
That's totally fair. And honestly, yeah. I mean, for someone who's realistic about their talent level, 100%. But also, on the other hand, you also had a program that's historically produced NBA talent and professional basketball talent. Do you continue to expect that you'll see players transported across the world to play basketball in different leagues coming out of UFAS?
I do. Devontae Thomas, Darion Strong-Moore, Chris Crawford, Marcus Wallace are all guys that I coached here as an assistant, and they're all still playing. And Devontae, not to get too deep into his checkbook, is making a lot of money right now playing the game, and so we will continue. And that was just in my time. There are other guys who were here before me that are still playing, and they came from the Division II era, not just like your Sonny Weems who came from the junior college era, who obviously still playing over in China. So yes, I do. When I was out at Western, we had guys go play professional every year. When I was at UT Permian Basin as the associate head coach, we had guys go play professional that are still playing. And so, yes, I fully believe and expect we will still have guys consistently go and play professional basketball from here, because another one of our sales to young men, speaking about the recruiting process, is, we truly believe that if you're top 3 or 4 player for us, and you're playing 25 to 32 minutes a game and you're producing at a high level, that you are going to have a much better chance to gather a contract from a professional team than a guy that's maybe at a Southland school or a WAC school that's number 9 or 10 on their rotation. And so you're playing 10 minutes a game or 5 minutes a game. We believe that the opportunity that you can have here is going to garner you more interest. And it has, from my experience.
All right. I'm going to let Maddie ask a couple of questions, Coach, and then I'm going to come back and pick on you for a second, if that's all right.
That's fine. As long as you don't pick on me too much.
No, I've got one thing I'm going to show you at the end of this interview, but Maddie, it's all you for a bit.
All right, Coach. So when you played, was there anyone that you tried to model your game after? I know that's a big thing for a lot of players, is they pick a favorite and they, try and emulate all his moves. So who was your guy?
Yeah, Maddie, you're making me feel old right now, because I got to remember what I thought about when I was a player.
Coach, we're all the same age over here, so we're all around your age point.
Well, right now you just get so caught up into your day-to-day activities that you don't even remember what you did 2 weeks ago. I guess growing up, I think JJ Redick was a little bit older than us. I was a shooter. I knew what I was. The one thing I understood about myself, and maybe that's what's helped me as a coach, is I knew who I was. I didn't try to be somebody I wasn't. I'd love to be LeBron. I'd love to be LeBron. I'm not LeBron. Okay. and I'm nowhere near that. That was never my game, but I could catch the ball and shoot it. And I was smart, and I was tough defensively. So, JJ Redick was somebody that I tried to really emulate, working on his footwork, as far as how he would square his body up and shoot the ball. And obviously that's why I think he had such a long-lasting career in the NBA, because of just his work ethic and understanding kind of his role and how he could fit in. Speaking of pros, I played with 6 of them over at Middle. Like 6 of my teammates played professional basketball. I was way down the line as far as understanding I was not going to be that. It just wasn't in my cards. But, a lot of those guys, even are the same age as us, are still playing. And it's because they were really, really good players. And I understood my role was to make shots when I got open, to move the ball to them and play hard defensively and execute our stuff and things like that. So he was probably one that pops out as a guy I really tried to emulate as a player.
Okay. So on the other side of that coin, when you switched over to the coaching side, was there any coaches that, you like their style of coaching, or just thought, wow, that mindset kind of leads you towards a championship, that you try and model yourself after now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you have to be authentic to yourself. That's what I've learned in coaching. I'd love to be able to do some things that I see, and just maybe I don't know how to quite reach my guys or teach them how to do those things. So I've learned from a lot of really good coaches. I mean, I spent 7 years with Coach Davis, and I've spent 5 years with Coach Newman, and I go to coaching clinics and I do all that stuff. I think as a coach, you have to know you're not a finished product. We always try to strive and tell our guys to be better players, and they have to work on their game and give them ways to work. And so I'm always trying to learn. I love watching the Nuggets and what Mike Malone does with his 5-out offenses. And, we use a little bit of Princeton principles in some of the things we do to steal it from way back in the day. And so I'm a basketball junkie. I watch a lot of different things. That's, what I kind of revolve around outside of my wife and my little 9-month-old. That's all I really do. And so I try to take things that I like that we didn't run as a player with Coach Davis and that I didn't do as an assistant coach with Coach Newman, and be true to what I believe in, what works. And I think that's kind of how it's gone. Now, from a cultural standpoint, no, I'm still in all of their stuff I think that worked. But from a thematic standpoint, it's just, more stuff that I believe is better for how the game is evolving.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, always got to be on your toes. Coaches today aren't coaching the same way the coaches in the 80s did. So totally understand that. So I know you said you were kind of a catch and shoot expert. Do you have a favorite position to coach, or like the easiest or hardest positions?
What's funny about that is I was a catch and shoot guy as a player. I'm not going to say expert. That might be very, very far from the truth. But when I was young, I got shifted into really working with the bigs. Brandon Chappelle and I were assistant coaches up here. So Brandon is now an assistant at the University of Texas. He's on the staff with Rodney Terry. And Brandon played professionally in Germany. And Coach Newman, when I got here, thought that Brandon would really work well with the guards. And obviously he's awesome. Brandon and I are best friends to this day. And so, there's two positions groups. You work with the guards or you work with the bigs. And so I kind of just by default got the bigs and really studied and worked and watched YouTube videos and went to clinics and figured out kind of, what we need to do to develop our bigger guys. And it's actually where I feel more comfortable from a teaching perspective now, because I did it for 5 straight years as an assistant, is work with the bigger guys and really learn how to work on their footwork and body positioning and playing into contact and understanding the bumps you can use on moves to then create separation and then lift. So it really helped me become more of a well-rounded coach, because I was a guard and then I became more of a big coach. And now as the head coach, you handle both. And so, but no, I actually feel really comfortable working with guys in and around the post.
Awesome. Okay, so this is kind of my, I guess, fun question for you. If you could get hired on as an assistant to any coach now or in history, whose staff would you want to be a part of?
Oh, that is you're talking, you could go back to John Wooden. You could go, Coach K. I think that's a great question, and that's one I'm not prepared for, Maddie.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to stump you.
No, but honestly, this is just who I am, and I would work for Coach Davis. That's who I would go back to, because of our relationship. I know him, and I know that's crazy to say. You talk about Bob Knight or Billy Donovan or Coach Cal at Kentucky. There's obviously the thousand, Tom Izzo. It's a lot of great coaches in this world, but I appreciate what he did for me as a player and started my coaching career. And so, I guess I'm kind of loyal with that answer. That's my guy. And I think he's pretty brilliant. So I would, that would be a dream deal thing, but he's probably retired. So that's really nothing that's in the cards.
No, I get you. I mean, you could invite him back to be an assistant coach on your staff.
I've thrown it out there on him coming up here and watching some practices. I actually think he's going to take me up on that. So we'll see.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So I said I was going to come back and embarrass you. So I used to be a journalist. So yeah, research is kind of my thing. So I can go back in time and find some fun stuff. So you used to have a favorite spot on campus, and back in 2014, you gave an interview very similar to this one. Did that place, did it or did it not involve Popeye's chicken?
That's a great question.
I've got the receipt, so I'm curious what your answer is.
Truly, this goes back to my first answer. Is I can't remember what I did 3 weeks ago at this point. There's a chance I like Popeyes, so there's a chance that I was sitting in a restaurant or something at that point. I couldn't tell you. I also probably didn't have a say-so as to where the interview took place. Now I have a little bit more of a say-so. But no, there's a chance. I'm not going to deny it.
Okay, Coach, I don't mean to cut you off too fast, but I do want to show it to you. I don't know if you can see it on your phone, but I did dig this up. And here we go. I'm sharing it on the screen now. This was an interview you gave back to SAAC, and they asked you what your favorite place on campus was. This was your answer.
Oh man, I would say the Murphy Center or the gym. I love it. We have a great locker room. We have great facilities. If you want to talk about something that's athletic, it'd be the new student union that they just put up last year. It's got Popeye. It's got everything. It's got a movie theater. It's got pool rooms. It's got ping pong. It's got a printing center that they're opening this year. It's huge. It's really nice.
I would play your favorite social media, but all you said was, "Oh, Twitter's my favorite social media." And you just pretty much ended it there.
Well, a couple of things. How bad was my hair back in college? I mean, that is really bad stuff right there. I think it's evolved a little bit because they released a picture when I got hired. What I used to do with my hair when I was an assistant, which was spike it, and that's bad now too. So the haircut keeps evolving. I obviously said the gym to start with, Murphy Center, and they're right. I mean, so you can tell as a 21, 22-year-old player at that point, I liked going to Popeyes after practice. So I can't there's no doubt that that's a truthful answer right there. That was not hidden. So that was something I remember we did that. I was a SAC representative down in Dallas one year for the school, and they asked me that. It's amazing how the internet will just keep coming back to you every once in a while.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, but you just know how to use a decent search. And to be fair, other than the probably a couple hundred people who watch this show on a weekly basis, that's probably about how many views that has had over the course of almost 9-10 years at this point, Coach. So I think you're good.
The answer itself, I don't have an issue with. If we could just black out the haircut, that would be. That. So if we can get to whoever owns that video and just tell them to crop out my hair, then we'll be a little bit better.
I think
I understand. I still have my student ID from UAFS that I had to take after moving into a dorm room in August, and I always say I look like Hagrid from Harry Potter because it's out here.
I'm in August. It was probably pretty warm. You probably got a little sweat in. Your hair got probably frizzy, so I can imagine. We all have those moments and we just wish they'd go away, but sometimes a guy like David will just bring them right back up for you.
Thanks a lot, David.
Me getting into journalism was the worst thing ever, but I got to cover the Kansas Jayhawks for a few years. So, all right, Coach, it was absolutely awesome. Anything else you want to tell people about UAFS, the program, the Lions, Numa, anything out there that you want let the world know about going to the Stub?
Oh, just that we're excited. I hope people are excited around town and the area of what we're about to do here. And we would love for any and everybody to be a part of the program. We want to reach out to as many elementary schools and clubs and people within the community and people such as yourself and try to voice our excitement for the season and for the program and where we think we're going.
Awesome, Coach. Where can people find you at? Other than basketball games on Saturdays.
Well, I guess my one hobby is golf. I will go play golf. I am very bad. Okay. Whereas Maddie said an excellent shooter, when I kind of disagree with that. If anybody said I was a good golfer, I got land somewhere I can sell you. Okay. I'm a very, very bad golfer, but honestly, David, I keep things pretty simple. It was the one thing I was taught getting into this business is, basketball is going to eat up a lot of your time. You have a wife. Now you have a kid. You need to spend time with them. And so I try to keep it very simple into doing just, those things that really matter. But my one hobby would be I'll sneak out to a golf course every once in a while and really tear up a course. And I don't mean by the score. I mean by chunking into the ground and things like that.
I golf about the same way, but honestly, what I meant by that question was where can they find you on social media and things like that? But my golf game's the same.
Yeah. They can find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. It's _ Zane Gibson on Twitter and Instagram, and then my Facebook is just my name. And social interaction is a great thing. We encourage it. I respond to just about anybody who direct messages me or emails me, which obviously the email's on the website. But we want to be in touch, so please feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. He is the head coach of Maddie and Mai's beloved University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, and our number 3 team on our list for best historic programs in the state of Arkansas. We want to thank Coach for coming out here today. This was an awesome and fun interview. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Well, I need to see you guys back in the stub now. You let everybody know you're UFAS alums, so come on back. Coach Gibson will have tickets for you. All right. Well,
Sounds good, Coach.
All
I'll
right,
pick you
we'll
up
see you
on that.
there.
All right. Perfect. Well, you guys reach out anytime. Anytime you want to be in the gym, just let us know.
All right. Sounds good, Coach. Catch you later.
That's good.
Yep. Have a great one.
Thanks, you too.